Hi. Welcome to Tough Crowd. Good news from Iraq. Good news, finally, from Iraq. I just saved money on my car insurance. Let me tell you something. Iraq is where civilization began, by the way. Unfortunately, it appears to have stayed that way. Now, this is World War III, folks. This is it. You can tell your grandkids that you lived during Armageddon. Oh, you don't believe this is the battle of good and evil? See the movies this weekend. Number 1, The Passion. See what number 2 was? Hellboy. How does Scooby-Doo 2 figure into the equation? I'm not sure yet, but I'll get to it. Everything from Iraq to the 9/11 Commission says one thing to me. Our country has all the power, but we won't use it. The FBI is in trouble for not being intrusive enough. You know, because, you know, the FBI must have been goofing off, but not because they're just like any other office, only they're getting so much cooler downloads to send to each other. You know, people getting killed, famous people having sex from the 60s, cool secrets. You know, it's hard to get into it when you got that kind of stuff going around. And we're getting pushed around just like in Vietnam. That's the only thing that's like Vietnam. We're getting pushed around by an army. It'd take us 10 days to wipe out. We need to start threatening people. The minute they kidnapped any civilians, we should have a president that would go on video to the Ayatollah, Shiites, Sunnis, Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah, and Hamas, and go, oh, you kidnapped our guys? What's that smell? Oh, that smells like 60 cents a gallon for super unleaded. Listen, you son of a bitch. Well, with less than 12 weeks to go before the U.S. hands over control of Iraq, the worst fighting since the invasion began continues throughout the country. 70 U.S. soldiers have died since April 1st. What do you think?
Well, I think there's only one real reasonable solution, and if I was John Kerry, that would be my platform. I would say, if elected, I will put Saddam Hussein back in charge of Iraq.
You know, I think we have to redeclare war, because the peace ain't working out. You know what I mean? Yeah, less people died during the war than have died during the peace. So if we redeclare war, everything will be better.
I think we should send our troops to Afghanistan and finish the job there before we go to Iraq and invade. I mean, I would be pissed off if I lived in Iraq and all of a sudden these people are like, you have to live like us. We know better than you do. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Why didn't we finish off Afghanistan before we went to Iraq? And what's this June 30th thing? And now we're begging the United Nations to help us?
And they're kidnapping each other. Did you hear about this? They kidnapped some Arabs, too. And they're getting crazy. So
yeah, they kidnap a lot.
They don't care who they... It's like the new thing to do now over there. It's like, Hassan, I'm going to kidnap you.
Yeah.
But they can't...
You would get kidnapped.
They can't we get kidnapped.
But you can't stop them. I mean, that's the real problem, where it's a dilemma, because we can't stay, we can't pull out, because it'll be civil war. You have the Shia Muslims, who are now being supported by Iran and the Hezbollah guerrillas in Lebanon, and then you have the Sunni Muslims, the Sunnis who worship Woody Allen's wife. And they're not playing games over there.
They don't like each other. How are they going to like, you know, they don't want us.
But there are vast differences between the religions, though. Like, it's hard for us, here it's hard for us to understand, you know, that kind of hatred. But it's like, there's big differences between, like, the Sunnis and the Shia. It's kind of like if you look at the way Lutherans and Catholics feel here in America, it's that kind of rage, you know what I mean? That would lead to, like, murder and mayhem.
But, Greg, you are not into pulling out. I mean, your wife's had her third child.
That is true.
That's true.
But wait, let's hear from...
Well, you always grab...
No, where'd you go?
Well, the democracy seems to be working a little bit. I mean, you know, they've been killing each other, kidnapping. I mean, tax evasion maybe next. You know,
You know
what's next?
Tax evasion. The big problem is this is coming right from God. You can't argue with people who are talking to God. You know what I mean? There's nowhere to appeal that. Why are you doing that? Because God told me, I'm done. I got nowhere to go.
Well, and the rage, you know, the rage that they feel, like if you, even that we supposedly trained and armed this Iraqi defense group or whatever, and they wouldn't even fight against the people in Fallujah. They wouldn't fight alongside the Americans. So they're not even patrolling their own people. So like crime is running rampant, even like petty, you know, petty vandalism, like camel tipping. It's crazy.
Wait, let's talk to somebody from Iran. Go ahead.
Okay,
you were
I'm originally from Iran, or like we like to say Persian sometimes.
And do you guys want something now? Seems like you're moving over there.
Right.
You want something?
Want a piece? We want in. We want in. Well, we never liked Iraq in the first place, but now now I mean the whole. First of all, I mean I understand why these people wouldn't want to protect themselves. And we never even pronounced the country right. I mean we called it Iraq. It's not Iraq. It's Iraq.
Oh.
Yeah, Iraq.
But Iraq sounds like
that's what it is. So how do you attack a country we don't know how to pronounce.
Saddam or
That's
Saddam?
not the point. Everybody's sitting there doing Monday morning quarterbacking on the damn place. Here's what I say, because I've talked to a few people from Iraq, and everyone who says this.
You were there.
And I was there. But every one of them said the same damn thing, which is that, yeah, they'd rather have a democratic thing, but of course they're not going to go against people in Fallujah because they had the power. You know, it's like when the troops leave at night, then it's this guy going, hey, that was pretty good. You know what I mean? So until they are, until we put the right people in charge and really, but that's going to take killing. Nobody wants to talk about it. That's going to take killing a lot of terrorists, a lot. Killing. That's how you do it. And if you don't want to do it, fine. But that's the only answer.
But
it's not about
terrorists right now. The guys that are fighting right now aren't terrorists. They're local Iraqis.
Local locals.
Here's the first thing. The first thing you have to do is get them uniforms. So we know who we're fighting.
Right.
They're all running around looking the same.
Everybody's in a different crew.
Yeah. That's right. So now you got an army, we can deal with that. We can't deal with people. We got to deal with an army.
And they're picking on the Japanese now. Poor Japanese. They're nice and cuddly.
They don't even have an army, and they're getting screwed.
They said, withdraw your troops. They go, we don't have any there. They're like, get them out.
Right, like Poland's got like 6 guys wandering around.
Yeah.
They don't, you know what I mean? And 3 of them been kidnapped, and you go like
wandering around Lithuania, they think they're in Iraq. I know.
The Azerbaijanis now, they say they're going to pull out. They have 125 people there, and we're paying for it.
There goes the war.
We're financing their guys.
How are we going to do without them?
Yeah, once the Azerbaijanis go.
This is let's face it, this is World War III coming on.
I tell you, I'm taking a stand. I am giving up my timeshare in Fallujah. I have had it.
That's a mistake.
Yeah, but I was booked there.
Real estate, it's always a mistake.
I'll wait till the end of the summer.
It always goes up. It
always goes up, no matter what.
All right.
Now, what do you think about this? In Honduras, the street gangs are defying the government they just decapitated their 10th person of the year on a park bench. Well, what do you think? They all have notes that they're saying we hate the president.
Well, they left a severed skull on a park bench with a little note that says "ha ha" on it. So you gotta love any gang that could combine like a horrific murder with a practical joke.
Is that on April Fool's Day?
Also, you're assuming this was not the last request of the guy who once belonged to the head.
But they killed.
You know what I mean? You can do what you want with your head after you're dead.
But at what point, you take something like Honduras, perfect example, if they're decapitating heads, if we hypothetically wanted to go in there and like make them democratic like you were mocking before and saying be like us, it would probably be better for the average person than having to worry about a street gang cutting your head off, no?
Okay, it's fine to go in and say, look, I want to improve your life, but why do we have to do it alone? Why couldn't we?
Because France and Russia and the UN are too busy robbing oil and starving Iraqi people.
We said screw the UN. He said screw the UN. And now he's asking them for
the UN said screw us when they were doing all those side deals the past 5 years apparently.
Excuse me, who was doing side? Rumsfeld was doing side deals.
The UN, France, and Russia were doing side deals, getting all that oil for the Oil for Food program, starving Iraqi people so they get better deals on oil with Saddam. That's what's been happening. Of course,
I'm sorry, who gave Saddam, who was friends with Saddam?
Oh, okay, let's go back to that.
We hooked them up against Iran. They killed a lot of Iranians.
It
was okay to kill the Iranians. What's up with that?
Yeah.
Well, here's what's up with that.
Get over here, baby.
What's up with that? Go on, girl.
They got the hostages.
Jews and Muslims together.
I'm sorry.
Look at that.
Jew and Muslim.
Yeah, that's really going to work.
Guy gets awfully uppity. They get one nuclear bomb, and all of a sudden they're telling people what to do.
It's a high-rise. It's not a nuclear facility.
I said, we'll be right back. Cut the camera. After an anal sex discussion on Howard Stern, the FCC fined Clear Channel $500,000 when they then yanked Stern from their stations. Now they're threatening to fine Stern's Infinity Broadcasting, the main syndicator. So Stern said this. He said it's not a surprise. It's a McCarthy witch hunt. They, the FCC, are expressing and opposing their opinions to tell us who and what we may listen to. I may be taking off all the stations very soon. My last words to you are GWB, which I figured out my staff. I think it means George W. Bush.
Oh, my God, you're so smart.
Maybe.
I could be wrong. Wow. So what do you guys think?
I think he is the scapegoat. I think it is horrible. I think that he's funny. I'm a lessee and a feminist, and I think he's hilarious. And I just can't believe that these corporations who donate to GWB are taking him, one of the funniest guys and a great entertainer, off the air. It's ridiculous. Clear Channel donates to idiot.
And we're supposed to be the country of freedom, and the terrorists hate us for our freedom. Well, there's no more freedoms. They're going to be like, there's nothing else to hate them for. This is horrible.
I know.
No Howard Stern.
Plus, don't forget that, one-legged midget porn stars need a forum.
Exactly.
Yeah, very true.
He has given a lot of people a break.
He's literally helping the little people.
But let's forget.
But it's arbitrary. That's what bugs me. I mean, yes, things maybe have slipped here and there, but it's like there's nothing new. He's been doing this stuff for years. It's a great show. It's funny. And now all of a sudden they're cracking down. And the worst thing is that the people at Clear Channel saying the show's indecent and immoral. They were taking sort of swipes at him when he's been on their network for years.
Oh, I know. It made them so much money. I mean, forget it. That they're giving to Bush.
But also the whole idea of those decency standards is, well, children may be listening. But, these morning shows, Stern's on from like 6 to 10. If you can't control your children from 6 to 10, to me, look, for me, I'm a Christian. So I feel it's my responsibility to control my kids. And if I catch them listening to Howard Stern, then you just beat them or burn them with cigarettes or you whip them with the cat o' nine tails. So stuff for like Jesus.
Makes me feel like George W. Bush is not a president for the people. He's the president for his special interests.
But he's not responsible for what the Infinity Board. You can't blame
the FCC. The FCC.
Oh, jeez, you can't blame him.
He doesn't know.
You can't blame that.
Let me say one thing. He's omnipotent. He's omnipotent. Listen to me. I want to tell you one thing, though. Here's the argument. Of course, we all know Howard Stern is like, of course, they go after the one guy that really is funny and original and thinks out loud and is honest. But wait. All the people that copy him. So if they're on a show, and if somebody's on a show, and they're saying, like, this girl's, C word, N word, kill this one, kill Jew, kill our. You guys all think that's okay because that's part of the freedom that we fight for.
Well, no,
answer me.
But that guy Bubba.
No, you got it.
If you got a shortwave radio, what's going on now?
They don't say C and
well, I'm just saying that Howard Stern is not the problem. Obviously, they're so dumb they go wrong.
You got to draw a certain line. You got to draw a certain line, but not this. I mean, the fact is,
where do you draw the line? Or who draws it?
Well, like you were saying, if it's like hate, if you're promoting hate,
how do you decide what hate is? They could say Howard Stern is hate. I mean, I don't agree with that.
Some of the stuff
is extreme. When he said this whole thing started, one of his guys called in and said, "You f***ing." Remember?
Right.
Well, they can beep it.
Well, did he? Because that's the problem.
That's the problem. Right.
Well, that is a bad thing.
He did.
Very funny.
You just said that is a bad thing. You guys don't think that should be.
No. Here's all we have is freedom of speech.
Yeah.
That's all we have.
That's
but that's a great statement. So you think if somebody goes in here, they can say whatever they want?
Yes.
Okay.
You can shoot people on TV, but you can't swear at them while you're shooting at them? What the hell? What's the point of shooting them?
What about,
some of the stuff.
That's one point.
Look at the guy in Florida, that Bubba the Love Sponge guy. He actually slaughtered a pig in the parking lot of their station, like a pig, a real pig, not a fat girl.
People go.
That's funny. Because that's more morning radio. When I heard it, that's morning radio stuff. Slaughter the pig and they kill the fat girl.
That's good.
So basically, what we're saying here is that anything on TV, cursing, nudity, violence, anything that anybody prohibits on any channel, that's against the civil rights of the people.
No. There are certain places for certain things.
Okay.
CBS has their family comedies, their sitcoms. It's a network show. Everyone gets it.
So they're not allowed to do the other things, but the people that can
There's a standard for those things.
Says that standard?
You can say things, but you shouldn't go on and tell, you shouldn't say, burn the Arabs.
How do you decide? But who's to decide what's hate speech?
That's not a safe thing to do. That's inciting war.
You could say that about anything.
How many people say, they come back, they say, I visited this country. I am so happy to be an American because I can say whatever I want. I can write whatever I want.
So I'm saying you can say burn the Arabs then in this country.
Listen,
you shouldn't say that. That would be nice.
No,
there could be standards, but the standards can't be arbitrary and they can't come out of nowhere. So Stern's been doing this stuff forever, and they can't just all of a sudden they just increase the fines by 10 times.
Well, David Duke of the Klan's been doing his thing forever. Now they're going to arbitrarily say he can't say what he says.
Well, if he's been legally saying it on television, then yes, it would be arbitrary to all of a sudden increase the fines by 10.
But if it incites hatred, you shouldn't be able to say it.
How do you decide what incites hatred?
Because saying kill the Arabs is inciting hatred.
That's not saying to you.
Right.
But to other people,
how you can interpret that as not being.
Here's the thing. You could say to me all night long, kill the Arabs, and I'm not going to go do it unless I feel like it.
Right. I think you can.
Thanks for letting me know.
You can say kill the Arabs, but you can't say kill the Arabs. That's the thing.
By the way, Iranians aren't Arabs, so go ahead and say kill the Arabs. I don't care if you. I'm just kidding.
All right.
See,
I'm glad to say we've gotten nowhere. We'll be right back.